Challenges, a practice done ever since the dawn of time, when gladiators would handicap themselves by using their bare hands, when duelists would purposely not fire in hopes of being the Matrix, and oh wait, there's a Bedwars update. So Hypixel thought it would be cool to make players go through hell, and to incentivize this, they gave cosmetics. Woo! I'm getting PTSD from rank Skywars now. Anyhow, to contribute to the community, I will be giving how I managed to deal with all of these challenges, especially the difficult ones, to help as many people as possible to obtain these weird flexes. Disclaimer: skill is required and there are a lot of difficult challenges that even top players struggle with. I wouldn't recommend trying a challenge that is out of your league, as it would just be frustrating and stressful. Prioritize fun over pixels in a block game. Another disclaimer: I did everything with friends, as doing them in 3s and 4s is way easier and honestly way more fun than doing them in solos, which would be very harming to my mental well-being. However, if this video can get enough support, I will try doing all these challenges in solos, or at least the most that I can. With that out of the way, let's begin on some challenges. The first few challenges are pretty self-explanatory. No diamonds is a joke in 3s and 4s. No utilities just means you can't do IYN and have to tool rush instead. And in being selfish, well, you have to be selfish and spend every resource you can get. Minimum wage is pretty easy on a map that is a short rush like Invasion or Dream Grove. Just remember to give all your gold to the person who gets TNT and 32 rush the direction you want. Assassin is also really easy. I wouldn't recommend going on a map like Lectus, Invasion, or Dream Grove, as if you get contracted with the team across from you, the challenge could be difficult, so I did this on Archway. Regular Shopper just means that you shouldn't buy armor. You don't lose tier 1 tools upon death, but if you happen to buy anything higher, like a tier 3, it would be reset to a tier 1 upon death, instead of just going down 1 tier. Now here's the first challenge that actually gets interesting: Invisible Shop. I would recommend going on a larger, less rush-heavy map for this, so preferably not Invasion, Dreamgrove, or Jurassic, as it may take a while to grasp where everything is. Firstly, you should grab 4 iron, and see what you can buy. There should only be 2 options, ladders or wool, so just find wool. Then, grab 10 iron and do the same with tools. This might take a few dozen seconds or so. Realistically, all you should need to win is blocks and tools. By the way, there is a second page in the shopkeeper. This may or may not have taken me a few minutes to realize. Next is Collector, a pretty self-explanatory challenge. This challenge is way easier to do in 3s and 4s, as there is way less bases, but it is still very plausible to do on solos and doubles. Remember, you have to grab 4 wool of every kind, not just 1, and also remember to turn in your own wool color. The contributions are for your whole team, not individually, so the entire team in total has to grab 4 wool. Woodworker was a slight struggle. I would recommend going on a non-rush heavy map, as you need to sit for a while and get gold for wood. There are only a few items that you can use: wood planks, ladders, tier 1 tools, and pop-up towers. This is an important note. For some reason, if you have a log skin for your wood, you can't use it, so remember to reset it to wooden plank skins. I would ladder bridge, as it would save as many wood planks as possible. I didn't personally use pop-up towers for this challenge, but I can definitely see how they could be a viable option. Finally, the first decent sized hurdle, bridging for dummies. The only blocks allowed are sponges, pop-up towers, ladders, and nothing else. For this challenge, my team decided to go on Sky Festival, as it wouldn't require too many pop-up towers to get to islands, and it isn't very rush heavy. You can make this jump to this island with ladders, and if you want to, you could place a pop-up tower on it to gain high ground for when a team rushes. We full sent one team, with the other 2 teams being occupied with each other. We tried doing some shenanigans with TNT and fireballs to get to middle, get emeralds, and use bridge eggs, but we were simply too poor. However, with the other team's bed gone, we won. This challenge was the first one that took me 2 attempts. Now, bridging for dummies seemed bad, but this next challenge in my opinion was more tedious. Maybe not harder, but way more tedious. Toxic rain essentially means that if you stand outside, you will become more broke than a college student in 5 seconds. In 3s and 4s, the only map option is Jurassic, as there are plenty of trees for cover. It is important to note, however, that you should plug up the glass at the top, as despite there not being a hole, you will lose resources. We built a tunnel all the way to middle, and we rushed teams from there. You shouldn't buy tools as those disappear, even the tier 1s, with the only permanent purchase item bought being armor. Getting beds is a hassle, with the only realistic way being with invis, so try to get as many emeralds as possible. Hopefully, most teams would go for each other and you will remain on top. This challenge took me 3 attempts. This next challenge is actually quite fun, and is my favorite, Diffuse. If you are a Skyblock player, it is like doing terminals. If you're not one, you're still fine. When you click on a bed, a double chest GUI will open up, and you must click all of the redstone. This should take about 3 to 6 seconds to do. When done, the bed will be diffused, and you must break it. I thought diffusing it broke the bed automatically, but it doesn't, so don't make the same mistake I made. Lazy Miner is a very easy challenge. You can just do IYN and use TNT, or just go Dream Grove like I did. Not too much to say. Ultimate UAC is very similar. Not too much to say. Just try not to take too much fall damage, as that damage is permanent and can't be regained unless you die. Sleight of Hand seems difficult on paper, but was quite simple. One person should bridge and another gets TNT. Just because you have one hotbar slot doesn't mean you don't have an inventory. You can just hotkey items in, but you should probably not use tools for this challenge. Weighted items is a very cool concept, but the challenge is kind of bland. I wouldn't recommend buying tools as I did, because it would slow you down for the rest of the game. Just buy TNT. The only real hassle was bridging, as speed bridging with slowness is very painful. I wouldn't go on a rush heavy map with this challenge, as fighting sweats with slowness is also quite painful. Social distancing is very easy. Just go on a non-rush heavy map, get 36 iron and 5 gold to buy tools, 64 blocks, and a KB stick. Rush middle and win. Simple. Some people even do this as their actual strategy to win games. Swordless is just fists and bow only. Tools will do the same amount of damage as your fist, so don't bother upgrading them for PvP. All maps are plausible for this, so just play what you enjoy. If there is a team that is camping their gen, just water silverfish and bow them down in their base. Next is Marksman. This challenge is actually quite difficult, but that was mostly because my teammates low-key threw, but that's besides the point. We went archway, and 2 of my teammates got bows, with myself going middle to get emeralds to invis teams. My teammates lost the bed, so we needed a clutch. After getting the last bed, we just bow spammed the last players down. This next challenge was pain. In fact, this was the first challenge I skipped to do later, as it started to annoy me. The Patriot challenge would probably be easier in solos rather than 3s and 4s. This is the first challenge I believe that you can fail without losing the game, so if you care about stats, you can always just throw the challenge, and if you fail and don't care about stats, you can just disconnect. The reason this challenge is so difficult is the last rule. If you walk on blocks placed by the enemy team, the challenge is failed. This apparently includes ladders, as I hugged a ladder on accident, and the challenge failed. I wouldn't go on a rush heavy map for this challenge, and I would also go on a map that has a lot of actual map, and not player bridges. We went Carapace, but Sky Festival would have probably worked better in hindsight. I would recommend TNT rushing, as blocking in can sometimes not be possible. This challenge took me 3 attempts. The next challenge is Stamina, and unfortunately, I forgot to record this one. Stamina is painful, as essentially it's just no sprinting. Why not sprint? Because you just save your stamina for other activities, such as breaking blocks, jumping, and hitting people. I would have fights where I would get player down to 0 and not be able to hit them because of low stamina. My team went Jurassic, as it is a compact map and wouldn't require much traversing. This took me 2 attempts. The Old Man challenge is hard for all the wrong reasons. No sprinting seems easy enough, right? We just did it in the stamina challenge. So my teammates and I unbinded our sprint keys and turned off toggle sprint. And we failed immediately. Why? Double tapping W. Do not double tap W. I don't even know why Mojang hasn't made it possible to turn this feature off. We went Jurassic again for the same reasons as stamina. This challenge is another challenge that can be failed without losing the game. This took me 5 attempts. Capped resources seems difficult, but on 3s and 4s, especially on Dream Grove, it is quite easy. Just rush for 32 blocks and win. We still had another 10 block purchases left by the end of the game, out of the 30 possible block purchases. Red light, green light was a fun challenge to do with friends. At a random interval of around 20 seconds, the screen will warn you that a red light will happen and you can't move. However, this doesn't mean drop your keyboard, because if you get hit or in the middle of falling into the void, then you will fail. This is another challenge that can be failed without losing the game. The strategy I found was to just leave and rejoin the game if you were in danger. If I was on an enemy's team's bridge, I would /L/rejoin. Sometimes we were landing frame perfect disconnects to save ourselves. However, don't always disconnect, only do so if necessary. If all of your team disconnects at the same time, you will lose the game. This took me 3 attempts. Slow reflexes is just an easier marksman. However, We tried not to use bows until our bed broke, and it was still pretty easy. Just TNT to break beds and get a KB stick or golems to kill people. Also, don't spam your clicks. Time them every 2 seconds, as if you click more than once every 2 seconds, the next hit would most likely not register. This next challenge in my opinion was the second hardest one. The Pacifist challenge requires you to not deal any damage via left clicking on people or using a bow. Utilities and spleefing are the only viable methods. My team went Sky Festival, and breaking beds was pretty easy for the most part, just TNT or blocking with tools. However, defending was near impossible. A blue player was stuck at our base for minutes, and he killed us so many times he just stopped and befriended us until he broke his team's bed, which then he broke ours. Despite losing our bed, we still clutched up against the players by fireballing them or just waiting for them to walk off by themselves. This challenge took 2 attempts. The next challenge, Master Assassin, is quite easy and is essentially the same as normal assassin. We went archway and just rushed the team assigned, team wiped them, and repeated. Standing tall was also quite easy. My team unbinded our shift keys, went Dreamgrove, and jitterbridged to the bases and won. We encountered 2 people with cool OGIGNs, just wanted to say that they looked cool. Protect the President was quite easy, and coincidentally, I got President. Essentially, everyone should give their resources to the President for him to get healing, tools, and armor. Try to give the President emeralds as he's the only one allowed to break beds for your team. Other teams are allowed to break each other's beds, so don't worry about that. The President should just invis the team and everything is smooth sailing from there. This challenge can be failed without losing the game. Now, the last challenge. The one most of you probably clicked on this video for. Can't touch this was painful, and I tried many strategies. I knew it would be easier in doubles, but I first tried in threes. We went bad maps, specifically Pharaoh, so we'd face worse players, as worse players would play bad maps as they don't have map select. We tried farming diamonds and getting forage for pots, and camp with bows, but we didn't see results, as we couldn't get diamonds fast enough. Strategy number 2 was to go obelisk, or hell temple as it is called now on map select, and get emeralds from middle, as it has 3 emerald generators instead of 2 like most maps. We bought a bow, bridged a sky bridge to middle, a few blocks below height, placed a water, dropped down, got emeralds, and got a punch bow. We wanted there to only be 1 team left before invising, so we just camped emeralds and protected our bed. Protecting the bed might seem ridiculous as you can't take damage or void anyways, but you should because it encourages people not to target you as finals and keeps your generator at your base. There's only 1 blue bed left, so it was time for our teammate to invis.
Wait, that's so good. That's so good.
Wait, that means that there's only 1 blue at their base, I think?
Wait, I'm just gonna pro on their bed to not take fall damage. I don't know where their bed is. I don't know where their bed is.
It's fine, you have time, you have time. Do you get it?
I found it, I found it.
Okay.
No, I just lost! Dude!
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was unfortunate to say the least, but we shrugged it off. My teammates had to go, so I decided to play solos but found no success. When I tried doubles with a friend, he came up with an idea. We go middle, shear the bridge to middle, get emeralds, run around middle until we find a base suitable for us, cash in by buying a punch bow for 1 player and an invis for the other, rush a base to get the bev requirement, and win the game. We chose to play Orbit because A. It is a bad map so worse players would play it, B. It is a fast iron gen map so we could head middle faster, and C. The middle was so big that we could run for a while if needed. So we tried it, and we got down to 1 player left, until this happened.
Let's see how many fireballs they
Be
throw.
careful with fireball. Wait, they're not even at their base anymore. They left.
Wait, they're running. Wait, hold on. I can like invis KB stick.
Wait, there's only 1.
Wait, it's only 1? No.
There's only 1 at their base, I mean. Like, the other one's at the diamond gen. Did I
Is
hit
he
him!
dead?
Did I get him?
I
didn't
don't
get
know.
him. He's out of my range distance. I didn't get him.
Oh,
I
you
did
got him.
I got him! I'm looting pro bow.
Okay,
Frick, dude, this guy, if he has a fireball.
I really don't want. Oh, this is so annoying because like I want to aggro them already, but like, okay,
Just go. Wait, you're not invis, by the way.
I know.
You should invis.
I have a bow and I'm ready to
Are you not?
deflect
Why are you not invis?
because I wasted my invis already.
Bro, then
I'm
don't
shooting
go in.
him.
Let me go in.
I'm shooting him.
Did you?
He had a bow! He
Dude.
shot me.
We then failed again, but this time we don't even know how. We checked replay and I have literally 0 clue where it happened, even with looking at chat and going to the bookmarks.
That's it!
We did it! We did it!
Let's go! Oh my
we did
god!
it. Wait, we failed?
Wait, what?
Finally, after 4 tries, we did it. Take my M's, take my M's, go loop around, and I'm just gonna bow camp him.
Yeah, you can take my bridge egg then.
I already have a bridge,
case
I'm
you-
fine.
Oh. Yeah, I'll spin the block, I guess. Wait, he's above. Wait.
I don't know.
He
Yes! We did it!
That's
We did
it!
it! We
We
did
did
it!
it!
We did it!
Let's go!
God!
Let's
did it.
go!
Holy
Let's
shit.
go! Oh my god! Let's go!
God.
That's all 30,
Finally.
right?
That's all
You
30.
did all 30.
I did all 30. I would like to thank all the people who helped me out through this adventure. All their names and channels will be linked in the description. See you till next time. Now I'm gonna go catch some sleep.